The Celestial Battleground is the newest event in Call of Dragons, and you can get quite a lot of great rewards from simply completing it, but there is also a ranking system which will give you many great rewards for those of you who rank the highest in your server. So in this video, I'm going to give you a guide, tips and tricks on how to best beat the Celestial Battleground and get the highest score possible for your account. Hey everyone, I'm Zoraz from Not Casuals, and today we're going to be delving into the best comps and some of the important tips that will make you better in this event. So the first thing to note is that you will be getting rewards for the amount of points that you do in this event, all the way up to 20,000. Now, the top rankings are in the 35,000 in my server, and these are all T5 players. So it gives you a bit of an idea how high you can go, and that 20,000 is quite easily reachable. Now, obviously, the rewards here are very good. You get a hero token for every one of these, so 3 hero tokens total, and a gold key, as well as some epic tokens and some other stuff. So it's definitely worth doing, of course, as well as if you rank high, you can get 5 here, 3 here, 2 here, and then 1 here for the top 10. So if you're not in the top 10, there is really no reward. These are worth literally nothing, so it's really good for the top 10 only in this event. But nonetheless, it's good to do, as you will obviously be getting rewards, and in the future, I'm sure they're going to add more difficulty, more rewards, and stuff like that to make it more fun. You have the choice of doing hard or normal. You get double the points in hard, so unless you are at early season where you have very few troops or no T4 or like weak heroes, for example, for sure you will be using easy, but once you are having full T4 marches with good heroes, you will most definitely be using the hard, as it is going to give you more points. The last thing to mention is that this will be an event where you will deploy 3 of your own troops, and you will be fighting 10 different stages before the timer runs out. You get more points for the more timer left you have, so this is how you're going to get higher points. You need to do it as fast as possible to really get high points. So the recommendation here will be to go full DPS marches. You want all your marches to be doing as much damage as possible. So I'm going to use my best archer mage here with my best artifact, as well as a really strong archer march if you can. I'm going to be using another mage march here because I want to do as much damage from far as possible. Of course, artifacts are one of the most important aspects of this. You will not be casting them every round, but there is a certain way where after every round, you basically save and leave and come back in, and your artifacts will have reset. As you can see, I have 13, 13, and 37 seconds between them. Now, if you go here and you save and quit, and then you join back up by saying continue, you will see that my artifacts have all reset. So I don't know if this is intended. Of course, I am on the same level as I was before, as you can see here. And I will be continuing. I will choose one of these. So I'm going to be choosing this one. And then you will see all my artifacts are reset. Now they don't have the power up. Like, see, I haven't worked towards the rage cost. And this can also be something that doesn't reset between rounds. So don't do this trick when you are, in between rounds where you have a lot of artifact power basically accumulated. But as you can see, if you can use your artifacts every round, any player who has a bit of difficulty will be greatly buffed, as the artifacts are obviously super powerful and will make a big difference in big packs of AoE like this. So this is, I don't know if it's intended. I mean, it might not be, but it is something that exists. So it is important for everybody to know it. So this is something that you should know, but it's not something you have to use. You really can just play it normally. It's not a big deal. Now, when choosing which effect to fight against, it will be important that you go based on your account. If you have a very strong account and you want to beat the timer as fast as possible, you will want to use enemy attacks, enemy skill damage, because you'll be killing the troops so fast that it won't really matter and they won't really damage you. It doesn't matter. You need to do it as fast as possible because you're trying to compete for the top. Of course, this will go for very strong account, T5, and so on. Now, if you're a free-to-play player or a low spender, the time doesn't matter as much. Just going through the rounds will give you the amount of points that you need. So you can go for more defensive ones in the way that you will still be killing the enemies quite easily and you will not be dying instantly. It's going to be about making a balance where you are able to kill the enemy without getting killed so fast. And it will be something that obviously you'll have to do a lot of trial and error because everyone's account is going to be different. And if you have too much trouble, you can also bring a tank march and stuff like that. I'm going to be choosing a little bit of offensive ones, and then eventually I'm going to be choosing defensive ones because I don't want the enemies to become too strong. You will see that at some point your units start taking some damage and they start dying quite quickly. So you will want to balance around that to make sure that you are not getting wiped out instantly by the enemy troops. As of now, the damage I'm taking is quite minimal, but the more I buff them, the more damage I'm going to be taking and the harder it's going to be getting. You will also be getting heals on round 3 and then like 6 and then 9. So it is good to time yourselves around those to know that you can heal yourself. But if you get around these rounds and you're too hurt, it is going to be a clue for you to reconsider getting less offensive buffs with the enemy, more defensive buffs maybe, or bringing a tank, or even going the difficulty normal instead of hard if you are trying to complete it. Now, when you choose some of these, of course, for example, Soul Sap, if you're going to choose that, every time a nearby unit dies, the effect is reduced by 25%, which means that you will be killing the enemy that doesn't have the buff. In this case, you will have one enemy that buffs everyone around it, so you will have to be targeting this enemy every single round. It is also good to note that all the enemies here, you want to focus the melee ones, if any. When they're all ranged, it doesn't really matter, but I would also focus always the bigger enemies, the melee, the trolls, the lizards, because they will be doing less damage themselves by counterattacking. Meanwhile, the small little troops will kill themselves with counterattack damage much faster, making it much easier for you to proceed. This is a perfect example. As you can see, I'm going to be attacking this big troll that is melee because he's strong and he has the buff right now, so I want to kill him. But you can see the enemies are kind of like already chunking their health. Like, look at these guys, they're like going towards being like half HP. I haven't attacked them at all. They just take damage from AoE. They just auto-attack themselves with the counter-attack damage while you kill the more threatening enemies. And these guys just end up being dead by the time I'm ready to focus them. So it is really what you want to be focusing on. The bigger guys, the enemies, and of course the healing units, if there is any, the ones with staff. You really want to kill them as soon as you can. Now, I'm already at round 7, I think. And then I already have 22,000 score, which means that I can already get maximum reward from this event. Of course, I can continue and get higher to try and beat the top 10, which I won't because I'm not T5. But as you can see, I'm getting all the rewards already with an account that's at 20 million power, and I'm not even at the end. I could have gone much further, and I will still do it. Just to give you an idea how it works, it's really just that simple. There's a lot of things you can learn. You can read about the skills here. There's a lot of them that can come on. It's really just about min-maxing your unit types, the right units, not getting too many defensive, too many offensive, and stuff like that. So that's about it for this event, guys. If you have any questions or suggestions or tips about this event, make sure to share in the comments below. And I thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next guide.